I discovered InfoUSA a little while ago, about 2 years ago, and I learned how they are the backbone supplier to Google's of the world, searches of the world. And I learned that they had 800 people in Omaha, Nebraska who were processing data that was copied from Yellow Page books overseas in third world countries. And they're deduplicating it, layering on other information and selling it for crap loads of money. And I was thinking to myself, I got 430,000 Moola members who are doing things for rewards currencies. And I bet you my users could outperform those 800 people in Omaha, Nebraska, and they would be like local in every neighborhood and all this other stuff. I need to create the stuff that I've had in my head for motivating people and turn it into basically creating a web version of what InfoUSA should be, for the news system. So we created that. It's called locationary.com, and the system is set up right now. So it's kind of like Mechanical Turk for local data, but it can do a couple things. Like what we're doing is we're seeding the system with the ultimate goal to create a global DNS system, but for local data. And there's a fragmentation going on all over the place. It's a hassle for developers. Civil Geo's taking that head on, but also for businesses. They can't update their phone numbers, their hours of operation. They can't keep all that stuff updated. Which system do you use? Which formats? If you update it in one, it could be overwritten because Google takes a different feed from somebody else and overwrites it. They're not tech savvy. They don't know what's going on. So what I think needs to happen, and I'm looking for feedback too, looking for help, is that there's going to be a system of registrars, the same way the DNS system has registrars. And those would be the companies that interface with the local businesses because they need to have a last mile solution. Google can't impose a last mile solution from head up. They can't do all that kind of stuff. We need to have somebody who's closer to the ground level. And those local registrars interface with local businesses to manage these profiles. They get centralized and then distributed out in like a DNS-like fashion to any mobile app developer, any search engine, anybody who wants to take that data and structure it, mash it, analyze it. It's basically a big data set. And now we can hopefully solve local search. Those businesses can push their products into the system. They update their hours of operation, their rich media, all that other stuff.
With one interface.
With whatever interface they like using at the registrar level. The registrars can compete on that level to track the businesses. And at the end of the day, we get all that data and we get to do stuff with it. And we get, it's a cool system. And we make local search happen. But as part of that process, I know that you need the user level, which is why it all comes back to having this motivated army. Now we've got these users in 50 countries who are, in the last 4 weeks, they geocoded almost 1.34 million places for me.
What's the incentive for them?
It's all the stuff that I learned from Moola. It's like how do you build a game using game mechanics and all the stuff that everybody I think knows, but how do you distill that into something that works? So it's a working website, and we can collect local data for people. I could say, users, find me all the wood-burning pizzerias in an area. Dispatch the users. It's not active check. It's not passive collected information through check-in. It's dispatched. Users dispatched. So I can dispatch them out to collect certain things or drill down into something. And hopefully we can sort of use that in, Civil Geo will be hooking everybody up hopefully to the website. And
what's the site again?
Locationary.com. So that was the way we thought of to solve that problem.
So you get users motivated to do work for virtual currency.
Effectively, yes.
Okay. So gotcha. And how is that virtual currency redeemed?
For prizes and a bunch of other things.
Physical prizes or
like sweepstakes?
No, it could be real prizes. So it's like we're looking for data to be seeded in the system. Like I said, we have 15 million points added to this system already, but we have another 10 million that needs to be processed. But I'm always looking for help because obviously this is a monster problem, and no one company is going to do it themselves.
So what's your take on the license of the data? Because if you want other people to participate,
yeah, I think it should be free, just like at the end of the day, I think it should be open like the DNS system, where there's companies that drink from the well and distribute out to the periphery, and that hours of operation get updated by some business in some registrar's profile, and then 30 minutes later, everybody knows it.
So effectively commoditizing it and eliminating the InfoUSA model, but in favor of creating new types of.
Yeah, we need to create a web model. We need to create a web model. It's a web system, not a yellow page directory system.
Yeah,
Virtual
in the
points.
wine industry, there's some guys trying to do that, then the bloggers, everybody else can use the data.
Right.
But so far, the wineries aren't doing much. To get them to actually go on there and view something is very hard.
Why is that?
They're overloaded with social media and Twitter and Facebook, and they're farmers for the most part. Some are techie people, of course, who've got wineries.
There are too many
But
things tempting to
most
buy
of them
for their
don't
attention.
have the capacity. The vast majority of wineries are family-owned, small mom-and-pop stuff.
Okay.
These big ones. So they don't have a staff in marketing that can do that. So bigger wineries do have a staff. They're on there pretty good, updating things and using them. But the other folks are just looking at it going, we're overloaded. There's
So
pruning to
part
do.
of effective crowdsourcing is recognizing that it's not going to come from the people who should be listed or who should be collected themselves, because
That's what
they're
we
either
thought
going to be
we-
unaware or okay.
In the beginning, we thought so. I mean, our thing was designed by vintners, and
Mhm.
this is what we want, and then nobody does it. So we ended up creating our own data, gathering our own data, which was not in the plan originally.
Certainly when you're trying to crowdsource information technology, I have a brick and mortar and a nerd. But as technologists, go ask your friend who has a brick and mortar whether or not they have a second to talk to you, and they'll say no. Because, you get 80% customers and 20% someone else trying to waste your time. And also realize everyone that runs a business knows that everyone that's on the phone that's not buying something from you is making money from you. And so you get about a second of time from them. So from your perspective, when we're talking about crowdsourcing, you're really trying to go back to the customer. But I would also warn you, you don't really make money very well from a business when the crowdsourced data comes from the customer, and that's the Yelp problem. So because I'm the business owner, I should be able to control my channel of the way that I am in the world. But when customers crowdsource that data, you're actually talking about my story, and then I want to take ownership of that story.
Well, that's if it's some type of data that has an opinion associated with it, rather than just facts.
Sure. How many people have seen OpenStreetMaps gained in one way or another, like today when we were going through the demo? How long does it take for crowdsourced data to be gained? That's what I mean. When we're in the end, some of us are doing this for fun. That's cool. Some of us are running businesses, but we have to remember that the point that we're trying to, the point of interest we're trying to look at, we're trying to get customers, we're trying to get people motivated to do work for us. But we also have to understand some of that motivation can just be, I want to, fuck with people. It happens a lot.
Yeah, there was a Santa Barbara fire last summer. They tried to do an open map from Google to show the fire engines and who was in trouble and all of this sort of thing. And they had to close it down pretty quick. It was getting gamed like crazy. I mean, that's where homes were burning, people running down the street. And
What were people doing?
They were moving markers around, putting false markers,
Oh, okay.
all the bullshit. So yeah, it failed. They couldn't keep it over. Now, when I ran the maps for the big Sur fire, that is, Old Basin Complex fire in 2008, I held everything internally, filtered everything. So information came into me. I placed the maps. I had complete control, although I did open it up to some others to do some things. But they didn't really understand what to do. Forest Service and all that. I said, you guys can use this. They go, wow, but we don't even know if we can legally do this.
And it's really hard for you to
And
scale.
the Office of Emergency Services, California, they say we release information at 7 in the morning and 7 in the evening. I said, if somebody's house is burning at 9:30 or about to burn at 9:30, what do you mean you release information at 7 in the morning? Well, we have to validate it. So there's all of those kinds of things.
What strategies would you, I really liked your idea of motivating users with virtual currency. And since everyone's, in the continuum of the human experience, some people are going to be nefarious. What consequences do you create in your environment to make sure people who are trying to game the systems have consequences or at least are filtered out?
Right, and that was one of the key, because coming from